Hey, good evening, everybody. JD here, 701 Nation, episode 15 tonight. Hey, Waylon, how you doing, buddy? Waylon Turns checking in with me already. Appreciate that, man. Got some. We always got some weird stuff going on here. So now we got a timer up here instead of saying who's on. Hey, Josh, what's up, buddy? You made it. How's full draw camp, man? Was thinking about that. Good evening, Brian Warner, fellow MVE. How you doing tonight, buddy? Appreciate you guys tuning in here. What we got the lineup tonight. I'm gonna go over. Got a new crossbow. I'm gonna go over that. If nobody saw the video, I did have a video of it, but I'm gonna kind of go over and talk about that a little bit. And then when Clay and I were on the day after Independence Day on Mitchell in the morning, we were gonna talk about the guns of the American Revolution. We never really got to that, so I got something on that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. I mean, it sounds like something that could take a while, but it's not really. And I got one. You buy a new rifle. When you get it home, what do you do? Do you just take it to the range, or what do you do with it? I got a whole prep thing that I do for new rifles. I mean, it's a little different from bolt actions and AR-15s and semi-autos and that. So I'm gonna go over that, and then of course we're gonna end it up with the Armed Citizen of the Week, and let you guys know what else we got going on. Do a little social media stuff here. Let you guys know when we're. Hey, Dan Brown, how you doing, buddy? Good evening. Josh says not much going. Good, just finishing up here. All right, awesome, man. Good deal. Good deal. I seen it look like there was a lot of people there, and before I get, I'll mention this again, but next Wednesday on Dakota Mornings with Mike Bell, Clay and I are going to be on in the 10 o'clock hour with him and Todd talking gun related issues. So that'll be pretty fun on K-Fire. Of course, the guys are going to be on tomorrow. Deke and Clay talking some Second Amendment stuff. Jay Putz is not showing up on YouTube. Okay. Oh, no, it is. All right. I was like, God, man. I know YouTube's got a good thing you reminded me of that. Hey, Brian Warner, he said he's a fellow crossbow and be awesome, man. I love it. Crossbows are freaking awesome, man. We're going to get into that shortly. But, yeah, YouTube's got new rules coming out on gun channels and stuff, and Facebook has done some goofy stuff. They still are telling me I can't go live, but we are going live there. I mean, I appealed it. They never responded to my appeal. It was stupid. I tagged AR15.com in one of my videos, and he responded and said, I've been tagged. I accepted, thank you or something. I said, thanks. Facebook said I was dealing guns with the guy. Ridiculous, right? How they could, well, they're AI, they're whatever they call it. I say AI, whatever, they had a different name for it, detected that and said it was, I obviously wasn't dealing guns, appealed, never heard nothing back. It's still, like I said, still popping up all the time that I can't go live. I'm glad we are going live. They never did do it. So, I mean, hopefully it's just some glitch in their freaking Cyberdyne systems. Freaking Skynet, man. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it. So, oh man, right when I said that, I gotta hold on. All right, sorry about that. Well, went down the wrong pipe. It says 11C1P. I quit uploading vids on YouTube. They wouldn't let me load most of my new vids and delete a bunch of my old ones, especially the most popular. Eric's on. Apologize for my cop. Eric's on CommuTube. Yeah, and they got a bunch of new stuff. Clay got a thing, an email he showed Deacons and I. It's nobody under 18 can watch. They're all age restricted videos now, and most people who watch YouTube don't even have an account with YouTube. So if you don't have an account, they're not going to be able to watch gun videos on there. It's ridiculous. They know what they're doing. They claim it's not for that, but it is what it is. It is. So it's going to cut into people doing gun stuff, but whatever. The point is, guys, bookmark our website, gunsandthe701.com. Go on X and what's the damn Bongino one? I'm having a blank here. Rumble. Get on Rumble, and we're on Twitch too. So Twitch, we got it going on Twitch. I mean, I don't want to get kicked off of Facebook and YouTube. I mean, whatever. I mean, and the Supreme Court just had a ruling. Guess what? It's not going to change it. They can do whatever the hell they want with content. So. I'm not gonna have a show about that, but that pisses me off. But bookmark our other sites, get yourself an account, get on our other sites if we ever do get completely booted off here. Like I said, I hope we don't. But anyway, yeah, it's the COVID. Yeah, I got a little bit of the virus going here, right? Dave Young, a wall doesn't mean stay out; it means use the door. Yeah, that's right, Dave. That's my cousin Dave down in Georgia. You're exactly right. That is what. Hey, if Trump gets elected, I better see them buses heading south the very next day because that's one of the most intolerable things that I can think of is that open border. But that's so-called conservative SCOTUS. Yeah, I know, right? They have some good rulings, and then they come back the next time with something just completely off the wall that you can't believe. And I don't know if these guys are making deals behind closed doors or what. Maybe they probably got videos on everybody doing some nefarious stuff. I don't know, but it does piss me off sometimes. And if you're on a fence about voting for Trump, the Supreme Court is the main reason you should be supporting Donald Trump, whether you like him as a personal, his personality or whatever. I mean that's the most important thing right there. Because if the leftists get the Supreme Court, she's over, baby. And there's a lot of judges on there that are ready to get off the Supreme Court. So hey, plug your nose. If you don't like Trump, plug your nose. You're gonna have to vote for him. Because you're cutting your throat any other way. So anyway, let's get on with my range day with my crossbow. Like I said, I made a video of it. If you didn't watch it, it's on all of our social media sites. So other than our website, I got to be honest with you guys, I don't do much on our website. Most of the stuff I do is right here on my phone. Deacon Clay, our big computer guys, I freaking hate sitting down in front of this thing other than when I'm doing my live stream. I'd much rather do stuff on my phone, and my phone going on the website sucks. So that's how that goes. If Clay or Deacon is going to I don't have to upload them videos, but just check it out on all our other sites. They're on for sure. I do it on X all the time. I just remember going to X because Elon's one of our boys now, sort of, kind of. But help him out. But check it out. So let's get into it. I had a Striker 380 in 2011. I bought one, and I'm to some people, shit, JD, you can pull a bow back. I can look at you. Yeah, you know what? Tore my rotator cuff twice in 1 year. Had surgery on it. That was one of the most painful surgeries I've ever had. And broke both of my wrists, tore my scaphoid lunate in both of them. My right one never healed right when I first broke it when I was 17. Been a problem my whole life. And I've probably had, I don't know, between 8 and 11 to 12 surgeries. And guess what? In September, I got to have another one. I got a huge bone spur on the one that they had to re-break and reconstruct in the year 2000. So, tacked that on as another one. But and I had it in 2011. I sold it to my friend Eric. He's on here, Eric Newman. He said he loves it. Nothing wrong with that bow at all. I do a lot of spot and stock. Another thing I don't have patience for is sitting in a ground blind, really, or a tree stand. So I sold it to Eric, and in the spot and stock, my new bow is probably, I want to say, almost 2 pounds lighter, noticeably lighter. It's a Barnett XP 405. The 405 meaning like the velocity of the arrow coming out. I didn't run it over my chrono when we were up. I didn't have time, but I could tell with the way it got to the targets and hit it. It was faster, and like the draw weight on it is 190. I can't remember what it was on my Striker, 160, but it's noticeable, man. It's like bending over and picking with the drawstring. I can get a crank for it, and someday maybe I will. But it's hard to pull. I even told my daughter who was there with me that I almost felt wimpy because it was wearing me out. It was wearing me out. But I bought it at Runnings. It was $500, I think, and they zeroed it. Bore sighted it, and it was almost on at 30 yards. I clicked it right, and I shot it all the way from 40. These are with 100 grain bolts too. I said in the video, I'm going to stay with them. I'm not. I'm switching to 125s because I noticed in my other crossbow scope, the 125s matched up way better with the drops. Yeah, I could sit there and shoot it and hey, okay, here at 50 yards, I go between, the 30 and 40 yard. you know what? When a deer comes out and you're excited, and you can forget stuff like that pretty easy. I want them drops to be as close as possible, but out to 70 yards, it was pretty close. And I could have went farther. I shot it at 80, and then it hit like low and left, like 6 inches low and left. And I decided, no, I'm not going to practice with it that much. I'm good to go at 70. If a deer's out there at 80, I'm better be able to crawl or hope he comes in closer to get him at 70. And I'm going to go with, like I said, I'm going with the 125s. And I have used Rage and NAPs with it, or NAP broadheads, mechanicals. The guy down at Runnings and a guy at Shields too told me, hey, don't even waste your time on the fixed broadheads. The way these things go, they're so accurate. Now just go with the mechanicals, and they're not going to fail for you. And I got the Rage had this stupid rubber thing on their broadheads that held the cutters in. I hated those things. The Rage worked so freaking awesome. Not that my NAP didn't, but the Rage just seemed to get a bigger cutting edge for me. But yeah, now they make it so there's no rubber collar on there. So I'm going back with the Rage 125s. Not disappointed in that at all. I'm totally looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm gonna have 2 weeks from tonight. I'm gonna have Wayne Moose going to come out. We're going to talk a little bit about some preseason bow preparation. Looking to get my buddy Tyson Schwab on too, and Levi Nelson again. I want to talk some preseason bow hunting. Them guys are both big bow hunters. Levi's got like 6 tags here and out of state, so we're going to talk about that with him. Tyson, I want to talk a little bit more about scouting and you know what. You get your deer. What are you going to do with the meat? How do you prepare your meat when you get a deer down for bow hunting? I love one thing I do like about bow hunting more than rifle hunting. See the sleeveless? I can gut a deer out with a sleeveless shirt on during bow season. I love that. It's freaking great, man. T-shirt, it's awesome. Eric Newman says the bolts I bought were noticeably lighter than the few you gave me, so I had to re-sight it in, but haven't gone out more than 30 yards. Matter of fact, Eric, in my camper, I found for you 4 almost brand new bolts for the striker, so I'll get them to you. 11 C1 pieces, 10 watching, only 1 like. What's up, lurkers? yeah, man, it's like that. I'll tell you. We get, like lives, like most of the time lives we don't. I think the biggest live we've had, I think we had Kelly Armstrong when he was on with us, was like 50. But most of the time people watch it later, podcast downloads and everything. It ends up being, one of our live streams ends up being watched between 200 and 500 times overall. So, if nobody's not that people, do I wish 200 people were watching? Yeah, it'd be great, man. But if they don't, they don't. So I just appreciate people come back and watch it or download that podcast. So anyway, we got about 5 minutes for our first break here. As far as like people think crossbows are pretty noisy, and I will say too, this Barnett is a lot quieter, noticeably quieter than my striker. And if you go back to like that 2011 striker to how they make them now, and I mean it's almost the identical same crossbow for strikers. They're made by Bowtech, by the way. My Barnett, it's probably the same. They got a different name for them this year. I can't remember what it is, but it's like the same identical crossbow they've had in that class for like 5-6 years. So, but it's super quiet now. Eric says 2 likes now. I just added a like just for you, 11 C1P. Appreciate that, Eric. Hey, and you guys, by the way, even if you don't watch the whole video, just hit like, because that helps us break the freaking algorithms or something like that. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Any like or share anything like that helps it out. So, and trust me, they're throttling back even a small North Dakota-based gun channel like us. They love putting their boot on their gizzard. So, and like the trigger's about the same. Eric's that striker might have a little better trigger, and I'm saying it's trigger like a nice rifle trigger. It was like 3 pounds. It was like a nice 3-pound trigger. I think the scopes might probably be a little better on this one. Not that it's some fancy thing, but and like I said, it supposedly has drops out to, it says like 90 yards, but we'll see what happens when I get the 125s. I'll do it again, and I will shoot them over my chrono. But and I did buy. I think Eric, I gave you that soft case too when you bought it. You have to back out of the comments section to get the like. Yeah, there you go. Just watch it till the end and then like it when it's over, man. But I did buy a Plano. It's called a Plano Spire hard case. I seen it, man. This thing's pretty sweet. I'll do like a reel or a short or whatever on it because it's pretty. It is nicer. I mean, the soft case is better than nothing, but this hard one, the hard case is better. And I don't know. My wife has whatever Amazon Prime or whatever, so I got like 5%. It ended up being like $80. It's free. It's nice. I got it yesterday. It's pretty sweet. I was pretty impressed with it. And all Plano, I think all the Plano stuff's made in the USA. I'm pretty sure. Just like all my Igloo coolers. But yeah, I got some Plano rifle cases too. They work great. I've always liked them. I mean, obviously they're not like a freaking Pelican case or something, but yeah, I don't I don't think I got anything else here for you guys on my crossbow. If if I got that video out, it's like a 6-7 minute video. Check it out if you want. It was just pretty fun doing it, and like I said, I'm gonna do some with them 125s, and I'll let you guys know how that works. And other than that, I'm gonna do our first ad here, guys. If you guys got any more crossbow questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, or regular bow for that matter. I mean, if you think people who hunt with crossbows are pussies, let me know, because I don't think we are. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna hit on, like I said, we didn't get to this on Mitchell in the Morning last Friday, Clay and I. Guns of the American Revolution. We're gonna be talking some muskets, rifles, and pistols, and some alternative weapons they use. So hang in there, guys. We're going to be right back here in about 2 minutes.
That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! You don't scare me.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right. Well, we got cut off there. I just checked on X too. It's not, we're not going on X for whatever reason. So it's, I don't know what to say. Sometimes I was just giving our buddy long credit, but not going on there. It says sending data. I don't know. That's happened before. So I don't know what to tell you about that. So, time to chat like it's 1775, says 11 C1P. Yeah. All right, Waylon, that's right. Waylon's got some good info here. Thanks for reminding that, Waylon. I was going to bring that up. He says it's now legal in North Dakota to use a lighted bow sight. It is not legal for entry into a Pope and Young yet, however. Yep, I did see that, right. Which, ridiculous to me. I mean, you're getting yourself a more ethical kill there when you use lighted. I mean, I don't get that at all, but whatever. I mean, Waylon, do you know what their reasoning was ever for not letting people do that? Because I guess I never heard or seen a good reason for that. So, whatever. Well, I'm glad it's legal now. Yeah, maybe North Dakota needs our own 701 Pope and Young or something, which includes lighted bow sights, which I think lighted bow sights are freaking awesome, man. So anyway, like I said, Clayton and I, we're going to talk because it was the day after Independence Day. We were going to talk some weapons of the Revolution. Never got around to it for whatever reason, but we're going to get to it now. So we're going to look at, like I said, the infantry weapons used by the British and colonial armies during the American Revolution. You're probably like, "Holy shit, JD, this is going to take forever." Nah, it's not. I got a nice article here from was it American Rifleman, I think, in NRA magazine here. I am a lifetime NRA member. Waylon, haven't yet. Okay. Eric Newman, in the last few years, they allow lighted bow sights in South Dakota too. All right, good. Which, like I said, they should do that. I mean, other states have it that are probably, even bigger bow hunting states in North Dakota. And it's cheating. Yeah. Is it cheating when you can't see and you let one fly because it's a nice buck and you didn't, you had the wrong sight on, you gut shoot it and never find it? I don't know. That's not cheating to me. So, but that's what do I know? You're a freaking crossbow guy. All right, let's get to it. First thing we're going to talk is muskets, right? Everybody knows the musket. Smooth bore, most common type of weapon used in the American Revolution. I actually thought their effective distance was more than this, but they're saying here about 100 yards. Of course, they fired the round ball with the caliber between 60 and 70. 70 cal, man, that sounds like a mule kicking son of a gun to me. But, even at a distance of 100 yards, they said muskets were very inaccurate and were much more effective at close range. All right, well, maybe that's why their little technique that their standard infantry was just line up and just take cracks at each other, and if somebody got hit, they got hit, which is always stupid to me. Chivalry in war, I mean, I would have been like, hell no, let's freaking go around the side of these guys. If they want to line up, we'll take them from the side. Yeah, here's 11C1P says they just found those musket balls from the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Yeah, he sent me that video. It was pretty cool. They found, I think, 5 of them. I don't think they could tell from what side, but right there at the bridge where the shot heard around the world went off, which is freaking awesome, man. I mean, that's a huge piece of history. I mean, maybe they can find some more about it down the road here, but that was pretty cool. And so the musket would be loaded with a paper cartridge which contained gunpowder and a solid lead ball, which maybe one of you guys knows this. I'm not. Are they saying like the powder was and the lead ball was in it and they rammed it down all in one? Because I've always seen like the powder go in with the paper or the cloth, and then the ball goes in afterwards. But this almost sounds to me like it was one, which maybe it is. The gun would use a flintlock mechanism where a piece of flint strikes a steel frizzen to create sparks and ignite the gunpowder when the trigger is pulled. Obviously, they're slow to reload. They're saying 3 to 5 shots a minute. If somebody can reload one of them things 5 shots a minute, that's some shooting right there, man. All right, he says the British bayonet charge was far more feared than the initial volley of musket. Yeah, I would be terrified of a freaking bayonet charge, even if I have my own, because that's a bad way to die, in my opinion. He said his uncle lost his best breeding bull on his ranch because a Minnesota guy shot it at sound. Yeah, there was a comment back here that I missed. Shoot on sound, or what the heck was it here? In Minnesota, they take sound shots. Yeah, that was Eric. And then he said, his uncle lost his best breeding bull because somebody. Yeah, I never understood either shoot on sound. I mean, man, that's some reckless shit right there, as far as I'm concerned. I've never done anything like. If I hear something, I wait, and then something's gonna bust out of the brush or whatever. I'm like, right there, just launch one in there. No, it wasn't me. So let's hear. First, we're gonna go the brown bess, right? I think most people who are I mean, even they might even have taught this. They might even teach this in school. Yet the brown bass is used by Continental and the lobster backs, the British. This sucker, they're saying here, like I said 60 to 70 cal. They're saying 75 to 80 cal for this. And they said often a smaller musket ball is used for easier reloading. I suppose you could push it down the barrel. 5 feet long, barrel length of 46, effective range 100. That's what they were saying pretty much on all of them. Origin, Great Britain, most commonly used weapon. It was in continual service by large numbers of troops throughout the country. Maybe that's where like the old best came from, which growing up to me, old best was like a shotgun behind the door, behind your front door. Although it was a British weapon, the Americans made extensive use of the captured brown besses, especially early in the war. It was heavy, but was relatively quick to reload compared to other muskets at the time. Then 5 rounds a minute. I mean, 5. It says 3 to 5, so if you could do 5, you were probably like a stud reloading guy or something. Because man, them things look slow as hell to me. All right, so the next one up. This is a French one. Charleville musket used by the Colonial Army. 69, and it says here too, loaded with slightly smaller ones for ease of loading. 60 inches compared, on barrel length of 45, about the same as the English one, or effective range 100. Of course, like I said, the French, it was what I mean by the name Charleville musket, right? It was an iconic French musket that the Continental Army began using after France entered the war on the American side. It was reliable and easy to maintain, and it was well liked by American soldiers. Okay, well, hey, I mean, that sounds like a lot better than the brown best. I mean, reliability and easy to maintain is to me, would trump a lot of other things. And it must have been by the American soldiers because it says they were well liked. All right, so we're going to get off of the muskets. Those are the 2 main ones, I guess, the brown bess here in the Charleville. I never did know about the Charleville. Like I said, I heard about the brown bess. But John, hey, good evening, John. Good to see you, buddy. All right, here we go. I got an answer here from 11C1P. They would often have a prepackaged charge of powder rolled in the paper with the ball. They'd tear off the end of the paper pouch, pour the charge in, followed by the ball, tamp it, and then you were ready. All right, so yeah, I've seen in the movies, or they bite it and spit it out. All right, good information there. Thank you, appreciate that. I'm gonna look in here just in case I missed one. Okay, yeah. Could you imagine them seeing the current U.S. battle rifle with a 14.5-inch barrel? Yeah, I actually had the Tribune had this big anti-gun op-ed once by their op-ed. I don't know, whatever you call them, their manager. And they could never imagine what we were gonna see down the road with these type of weapons. He wanted to ban assault weapons, AR-15s. And I said, so you think the people who started this country, who came here, the framers, they were so stupid they didn't see arrows, spears going to arrows and arrows going to muskets? They couldn't have imagined anything more, or a catapult going to cannons. I mean, come on, dude. And furthermore, I think any of the guys on either side fighting in the war back then would have seen an AR and thought, this thing's freaking awesome, or an M4, my bad, an AR for civilian use, but M4, M16, any of that, they'd have freaking loved it. M14, any of that, M1s, Garands, any of that, they'd have been like, that is freaking awesome. No, we can't have those in the future. So yeah, this guy at the Tribune, he couldn't comprehend that, though. He thought I was freaking nuts. And I'm not. I thought he was nuts for not seeing reality. Anyway, let's go on. So most people would think a musket's a rifle, right? But no, a rifle actually has rifling in a barrel. And I did learn a little something here about the English, because I always heard the American snipers, because I think we actually had like the first large scale use of the rifled barrel by snipers, and they could shoot an orange off of a post at 300 yards, which, I mean, I'd love to see that. I mean, I'm not saying some of them guys couldn't do it, which they probably did, but man, with those rudimentary sights and at 300 yards, I mean, you try that now with a good rifle and modern cartridges, iron sights at 300 and orange. I mean, that's a hell of a shot. That's a hell of a shot. Josh Patter says, I have an inline muzzleloader that's actually pretty accurate, not a musket. All right, cool, man. You know what, Josh? I've never shot a musket, a muzzleloader, I would maybe at some point, man, I'd love to go out and do that because I mean I've been around people shooting them, but I've never touched off a round. I'd love to try it. 11 CUMP. They had the puckle gun and knock guns and didn't say not allowed. They said shall not. Right. They didn't. I mean, if you can find the word musket in the Second Amendment, and I'm looking forward to it, Dems. Actually, last Friday we did a thing on the puckle gun on Todd Mitchell's show, Jay. It was that's probably why Todd didn't want to talk any more guns, but yeah, Clay found a story on the puckle gun, and it was. I mean, I think it went 9 rounds. It could hold 9 rounds. It was almost like a revolver. You could change the deals in the back, and it looked like an old ass Gatling gun. I mean, that's kind of what maybe I think Richard Gatling modeled it after. Anyway, so Continental Forces also had long rifles, which were used as they say crude sniper rifle or long range combat. They featured a rifled barrel, right? Meaning there were grooves that would impart spin on the ball, which makes it more accurate, right? Makes it more cut the wind better. Long rifles are accurate to distance 200 to 300 yards, making them much more effective than muskets at long range. See, like, to me, I would be like, let's just shorten these barrels up and use these rifles for 100 yards because then you're actually going to hit somebody instead of volleying up on. Anyway, however, the bullet needed to be big enough to catch the grooves. That meant pushing the bullet into the barrel was quite a tight fit, right? Harder to load, right? You're ramming it in there. But, I mean, these old guys started the country. These guys probably all were tough bastards and strong as hell. I mean, they busted their ass every day. So, I mean, and it must have been hard if these guys were struggling. Depending on the skill of the operator, it was only possible to fire a long rifle 1 or 2 times a minute. Okay, well, it's, you know what, and if you're sniping, I mean, you probably got a little more time, but of course, it wasn't smokeless powder either. When you shot, that big cloud came out so they'd see where you're at. American forces put the long rifle, also known as the Kentucky rifle, to use, and it was typically a 50 cal, and maybe that's why the, Ma Deuce and everything else, we stuck with the 50 because they just liked the 50 because these guys used it. They put it to good use. Colonel Dan Morgan of Virginia, his riflemen, also known as Morgan's Riflemen, were an elite infantry force that used long rifles to great effect during the war, including the Battle of Saratoga. Which, right, I'm familiar with the name, and I'm not up to, and I'm not like a Civil War buff either, but I know definitely more about that than a Revolution. But yeah, so I do know Daniel Morgan's name too. I mean, I've heard him before for sure. I think, I don't know, did they kind of make him in that Mel Gibson movie? Wasn't he kind of one of the characters? And I could be wrong, or loosely based off of him. So the rifles that they used here, the British, theirs was a 65 caliber, 48 inches. They had some longer variants. The barrel length 32 to 35 inches. That is a freaking long barrel. Effective. I mean, that's longer. Probably. I mean, is that longer than the barrels on their cannons on their ships? Even it's crazy. Effective range of 300 yards. Origin Great Britain. This is one of the best rifles in existence at the end of the 18th century. Accurate at long distance, easy to reload, and it was one of the first breech loading rifles used in combat, which I didn't know until I read this either. I didn't even know they did that, which, of course, according to the meaning, the operator did not have to reload by forcing a cartridge down the muzzle. The British used it at the Battle of Brandywine, but the Ferguson rifle did not see extensive use during the war as it was expensive to manufacture and required more maintenance than most other guns, right? Remember, I said that before. Easy to maintain, that makes up for a lot of things. Eric Newman says the inline muzzleloaders in the muzzleloader world is like the crossbow in the archery world, and I have both. Okay, I like that. No joking here. Eric says I knew Army vet that loved traditional muzzleloader. He could hit 5-gallon buckets 7 out of 10 at 1,000 yards. Man, that is freaking awesome, dude. At 1,000 yards, he was doing that. That's awesome, dude. That's my hat's off to that guy because that is some real sniping right there with irons. Wow. And that musket ball, crazy. Sam Whitmore was his name. Had to look it up. Okay, that was from 11C1P. All right, so that was the main British one. That was a Ferguson, and we got the pattern 1776 rifle, which was also used by the British. Like I said, our guys, I'm going to say the Americans, they used a Kentucky rifle. So the British also had this 1776, which is 63 cal, 46 inches, barrel length, effective range of 200, or originated in Great Britain. Modeled on the Jaeger design by the Germans, it was used by British light infantry and loyalist units, such as the Queen's Rangers. About 1,000 were made, and it was a lot more commonly used than the Ferguson, which, wow, only 1,000, and they must have really not used that Ferguson a lot. Although this gun was not used as great effect as the American long rifle. Yeah, anything I've ever read about the Revolution, the Americans were, almost invented sniping, really, in my opinion, but who knows? Gene Cox, he likes his flintlock. All right, sweet, Gene. I'd love to shoot something like that, man. So muskets. I got that. I just read that. Muskets and rifles, of course, not the only thing they had for weapons right back then, right? Flintlock pistols were also used by soldiers back then. They were carried by officers, cavalrymen, and in the Navy, they were used in close quarter combat when boarding enemy ships. And they worked in the same way pretty much as a flintlock, right? And loaded with 50 to 75 caliber lead ball. Due to their shorter barrel, their only effective distance at 30 yards. That's whatever. 30 yards for an old flintlock pistol. That's pretty good. Really. I got my carry pistol every day. I've got like a 3-inch barrel, 30 yards. That's pretty good crack with it for me. Damned if it ain't a hawking, Gene said, his flintlock. All right. So other than pistols, bayonets, knives, tomahawks. I do have a tomahawk, actually. Who's I talking to? They wanted to use my tomahawk. We're going to do some tomahawk tests. I love freaking tomahawks, man. Tomahawks are freaking awesome, and mine. I used to use it to cut up my wood for my smoker, actually. And so, yeah, like the Revolutionary War battles, chaotic, close quarters combat. And do the long guns when you're close range. Other than the bayonet, you shoot once and she's over, baby. So you got to get your edge weapons out. And they're saying, bayonets, like I said, attached to the muzzle of a musket. Yeah, transform that into a spear, as we all know that. Officer and cavalrymen often carried swords and sabers, which were symbols of rank, as well as effective weapons in close quarters. Yeah, probably. I've never done it, obviously, but I almost think I'd rather have a axe or a tomahawk instead of that saber, but who knows? I don't want to go up against either. Obviously, tomahawks, wood handles. They had a spike on one end, which they still do now. They got the blade on one end and the spike on the other. Seems like a good zombie weapon. They're also thrown in combat. Yeah. Hey, and I got a video. I did throwing axes over at 701 Cornhole and over Amanda, and freaking fun. That is fun. They got, the big axe, they got the little knife and that other like small tomahawk thing. Nah, that's a waste of time. Just use a big one. And I've noticed when you throw them, you can't like crank back and whip them. You gotta like rhythm that thing. You don't have to throw it fast. So the faster you throw it, the less it's going to stick. I've seen, and they also use their tomahawks for skinning and stuff too. And the Indians fought on both sides too. There was natives fighting for the British and the colonialists, so the Americans. How did the colonial army procure weapons? Individual contributions at the start of the war. Colonialist militiamen often used their own weapons. No, they didn't. The government supplied them. Ask Joe. Nobody had their own gun back then, especially cannons. These guns were used for hunting on the farm as well as leftover weapons from the French and Indian War. Yeah, forget about that. The French came over and were brutal wars with the Indians here. Captured weapons. Even before the American Revolution, rebels began stealing weapons and gunpowder from British magazines. For example, when Fort Ticonderoga was taken in May 1775, they got a bunch there. And also American privateers were able to successfully capture British merchant and Navy vessels once the war began. Oh, how'd they do that, Joe, with their own ships? That's amazing. Intercepting valuable shipments of gunpowder, guns, and artillery, and actually with domestic production. Not like Britain. Britain had, big, I guess you want to call them over their plants for building their weapons. We had smaller ones, and mostly, private gunsmiths would make them here. well, Americans made a lot of their own stuff. I mean, they're still known for that. And the French, of course, the French imports, once the French got in the war, the French were like Britain. They had good manufacturing. And like I said, what was the name of that? They say that thing was a Charleville musket. That's, they brought that baby over here in great amounts. So, the French helped us out now and then. I mean, we had to bail them out a lot too, but I mean, they're, by the looks of their last election now, they're kaput. But and like gunpowder too. The French were willing to send gunpowder here as early as 1776 before we had the official alliance with them. And without that aid, they're saying gunpowder would have probably ran out in early 1777. Without your powder, you're not winning a war. So, all right, I'm gonna hit a few more of these comments, and we're gonna go into our second ad here. I think the irregular riflemen did more to instill fear in the British, far out of proportion to their numbers. Kind of like a modern sniper, yeah, for sure, right? I mean, these guys were hunters, and they kind of used their hunting techniques and what do you call it? Brought it into, morphed it into their combat techniques. So yeah, it was. I mean, and you're outnumbered, man. You have to. You can't just. I mean, we're outnumbered. You can't just go face to face all the time against the biggest freaking army in the world. I mean, you're way outnumbered. I bet Biden thinks they had a high-capacity assault muzzleloader. Yeah, the Puckle. Yeah. Wasn't battles of Lexington and Concord due to the fact that the British were on the way to destroy arsenals? Yeah, I think they were going to confiscate, their powder and their ball supplies. And these guys, Clay and I talked about this a little bit Friday. These guys were sitting in a tavern. What? Yeah, they were sitting in the tavern talking about it and heard what was happening, and guess what? Picked up their own guns and shot her around the world, and the British should have just stayed home that day. 11C1P at Gene Cox. Yeah, they were after many of the cannons and powder supply. Yeah. I mean, powder's what it's all about back then, baby. Because I mean, you can melt your own lead ball, but like I said, they were short on the supplies of gunpowder. Thanks to the French, you helped us out, All right, guys, we're going to do our big ad here. Come back. Next up, what's your new rifle prep routine? I got mine. I got it for ARs. I got it for bolt guns. We're going to talk about what you guys do and what I do when I get a new gun before I even take it to the range. So we'll be right back.
That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. You don't scare me.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right, welcome back, guys. JD here, 701 Nation. And hey, guys, you do any business with any of our sponsors, please tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701 or 701 Nation. And hey, if anybody's seen our sign down Washington Street, let us know about that too. Actually, you guys want to see some good work, go on Bloodline Kinetics Facebook page. Jake posted he did just a black coating on one of these rifles. Man, that looks so freaking flawless and awesome. That's freaking great. And you know what? My buddy, we did, before we get into the rifle prep, which kind of lead in with this, my buddy bought a Savage 223, and he didn't buy it from in town. He got it at an online gun shop, but he did use Double H for the FFL. And guys, if you buy something online, I mean, make sure you send it to one of our sponsors, because hey, you know what? That's money they wouldn't have. And of course, my buddy bought some ammo there and a few other things at the gun shop. So that's what you got to do. And if your vehicle breaks down, make sure you get yourself to a LAUER Auto Repair. And I am forgetting one thing here, guys. Hang on a minute. I just remembered, and I do apologize because I did this last week too. God dang, we do have a new sponsor here. Right here. I got to play this ad. I apologize to you for not playing this earlier, but hang on, I got to play this ad.
For every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger, to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Right on, John. I'm sorry I didn't play that earlier, but I got you on there. Great job on a commercial too by our buddy Mike Deacons there. Nice job, Deacons. And going back to what I said about before they went and met the British at the bridge there, 11C1 pieces, more reasons to hang out in bars. Yeah. I like that. All right. So, like I said, I like to keep my show to about an hour, but it's probably going to go an hour and 15 today, because we're gonna hit on the what's your new rifle prep. Like I said, some people buy a new rifle. Hey, throw a scope on, whatever, screw it. Don't do anything to it. Take it to the range and shoot it. And you know what? Maybe that works out great for them. I don't have any qualms with somebody doing that. I wouldn't do that. I'm too anally retentive. And just like I think barrel break-in is, the shoot twice, clean it, shoot three more, clean. In my experience of owning a lot of guns, that's almost complete bullshit, but that's me. Somebody else who probably, oh no, should I do it? And it works great every time. Okay, because mine worked great for me. So I get a new rifle. first thing I'm going to do is break most of it down like I can, not like screw by screw, but bolt action. I'll take the bolt out. Sometimes if I feel like the bolt's got a lot of machining lube on it because it's sticky. How that stuff? I mean, they must heat that up or something when they machine it because it's not doesn't have much lubricity when it's not hot. So if it's real tacky, I'll break the bolt down. And I mean, if you don't know how to break a bolt action bolt down, you can go find videos pretty much anywhere on the. Who knows what they're going to do now on YouTube? But yeah, you can find them. Guys will break them down for you. Super easy to do. AR-15 said an AR. Like if I get an AR, I'll take it the whole thing apart. The bolt, break it down all the way. I won't totally break down the bolt itself down, but I've never had a problem not doing it with one of those. But I mean, I'll break that all down and clean it and lube it. If it 11 C1P, if it's not broken, I'd try not to fix it. That's good advice right there too. But I got the Wheeler for putting the scope on. I got the Wheeler. It's got two levels. You get one on there, you level it, and you put it on the barrel, and you put one on the top of the gun. Because I know people will say, you know what, I just looked down and my crosshairs look totally level, JD, and well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I want to take all the human error out of it, so I do it, and it doesn't take much. I think the kit for it was like $60, maybe, and I mean it works awesome. I do that for sure. Clean the barrel. I definitely, and I'm not saying, I mean, we talked about this a little before. I mean, I'll just take like some barrel cleaner, the barrel in the chamber, clean that, and I mean, this is going for bolt actions and AR-15s. Clean that barrel out real good. I mean, trust me, you run some bore cleaner through, shit comes out of there. The patches aren't clean. I do after I take it to the range, then I'll bring it back and I'll run the copper killer through it. And I have noticed that if you do that after your first range test, it will usually pick up between 20 and 50 feet per second on your velocity. I don't know why, but I've just noticed that. So that's definitely something I do there. Like I said, if you got a bolt rifle with a rail on it, almost always these gun companies, they will not freaking torque down your rail screws. Man, I've seen them things come loose so many times and frustrate people. So I take the rail off, take the rail screws, get brake cleaner or whatever I got. I got some gun. It says gun cleaner, but I think it's freaking brake cleaner. Spray them screws off. Put just a little bit of blue Loctite on. Screw them back in. Torque them down. You can just go on the website. I mean, they're usually like 18 inch pounds or whatever, and you get a Wheeler fat wrench, it'll break for you. Trust me, if you do even if you don't do a lot of it and you do some of that and you got friends who are gun people, these Wheeler tools they're freaking great for this stuff, man. Trust me, the levels and the fat wrench, and they got some other, I mean, there's a bunch of companies that make stuff. So, and trigger adjustment, a lot of times, I mean, even like your entry level rifles now, like Ruger, the Ruger Americans, or like this Savage my buddy bought, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But you can adjust that trigger down, and I usually take it down. If they usually come at like 4.5, I'll take it down, not all the freaking way down to like 2.5 pounds. Which is, some people like that, go for it. I like a 3-pound trigger. That's perfectly good for me. But I'll adjust that. An AR-15, I will completely take that. I don't care if it's an open sight shit range gun. I'll take that factory AR-15 trigger, yank it out, get yourself. I mean, you can buy a nice trigger now for them at like 4.5 pound or 3. Like the Rock Rivers will go down to 3, but some other companies make them for like $60 that are 4.5. I mean, it's so much better. AR-15 standard triggers are freaking complete junk. And I do like my bolt rifles, they got the sling stud on the bottom. I screw it in the side of the forend so it sits flat on my back. I mean, trust me, it's way easier to freaking carry it, whether you're right or left-handed. That's another thing I do all the freaking time to them. And, and bore sighted, like I don't have the laser boards. Put that in there. What you can do, set it on your bags or your bench or whatever, and look at some targeted, close to 100 yards as you can get. Look right down the bore with the bolt out. Make sure the rifle's not moving in your scope, and then adjust it down. You get your crosshairs on what you're looking at through your bore. I mean, sometimes I've had it pretty not like right on, but I'm saying close, like a 5-inch group. When we did John's gun, I had it. I don't know, it was like 8 inches low, but saves you a lot of freaking ammo instead of just blasting. Oh, I can't. Nothing happened. What the hell? I definitely do that to all of them, and then I take like a light, not so much for AR-15s, but bolt rifles, light coat on a rag, and I mean, you can take the action screws out and take it out of this, wipe it down. Trust me, you will be amazed if you put a little oil on a rag on a new rifle and wipe it down. And I'm talking even on a stainless steel gun. You will get rust coming off of that thing like you wouldn't freaking believe. And I'm not saying, just make sure you just got to wipe it off and leave a light coating on it. And even once a year, if after hunting season, if you don't shoot your guns a lot, or even if you do, take it down, wipe it down again, because stuff gets on it that you don't see, man. And I mean that shit adds up. But I mean that's basically my pre-rifle prep. Like ARs, I mean I could do a whole damn show on everything I put on ARs. I won't, but I put all my accessories on even before I go to the range and fire one damn round out of them. And trust me, I'd put a lot of shit on AR-15s. Not like stack it on, but I mean replace factory stuff. I mean, you can go to a place like Bloodline. Jake will make you whatever one you want. You don't even got to dink around with it, Or I mean, a lot of them you can buy now too. Got pretty much most of the stuff you want, but I prefer doing it myself. Get it home, cool out the brewskis or whatever, and set aside a couple hours and then go to work on that baby. Because you do, Clay and I did a show on it, building your own, even putting accessories on your own rifle. I mean, a certain amount of, a little bit of chest thumping pride when you do something like that. It's just the way it is. I mean, maybe it's just me, but yeah, that's my rifle prep for new guns. I see we got some backing up on the comments here, guys. I didn't forget about you. I'm going to go back here and read them. So, all right. So Eric says, I've done both start, shoot in, and I have tried the so-called break in, and both guns shoot the same. So I 100% agree with you, Eric. I have never seen that make a difference. And I mean, I bet you I've tried it on 5 or 6 of my own rifles and other guys' rifles. We got to do it on, that's what it says. That's what it says. Okay, if you want. I've never noticed the difference. I mean, either you got a rifle that's going to shoot good or it doesn't. And my buddy John's rifle, that I didn't get the video up yet, but a lot of times with the new barrel, I mean, I did that a couple weeks ago in that Anderson. You'll get one round, like your first shot will kind of go out of the group, but the more you shoot it, the more that sucker will, unless you got a real shitty barrel, more that barrel breaks in. That first shot it'll go completely away and you'll get them all in the same spot, or it'll be in a reasonable distance to where it's not going to screw with your, like if it's your hunting rifle or something. But a lot of people get upset about that, and I would say even on a good barreled rifle, it takes like 100 rounds before, in my opinion, that they really settle in. And yes, I don't own $5,000 rifles. I mean, I've shot Christensen Arms rifles and I've owned a couple of, $2,000 rifles, and my buddies have had them and whatnot. And I still think it takes a while for them barrels to settle in. But all right, 11C1P says the scope might be straight, but is your eyeball crooked? My eyesight has gone so far south now. I see penguins when I close my eye. Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate that I had 20/20 until I was my early 40s, like 10 years ago. And then I had LASIK, and now I can see far. I'm like the freaking Terminator, but close shit. That's why I'm wearing these, man. I mean, if I took these off, I could barely read them comments. That part sucks. But yeah, getting old, I mean, one way or another, if you still got your eyesight and close and far now and you're older, you're a fortunate individual. Let's see, Josh Patterson, he says, I did the break-in process on my Bergara, which is recommended by them, and it seems like the groups opened up more from first shot to now. Never did a break-in on my boy's rifle, and it's a nice shooting rifle. Groups actually got better over time. See, it's kind of what I was saying. They settle in there, and He said, my 7MMO8, I cleaned up after every 5 shots for the first 30, 40 rounds, and it shoots about the same as it did when I got it. Not sure if I believe too much in the break-in process. I'll check all the screws. I'm just paddling down here. I check all the screws with the torque wrench when I get a new gun. Yeah, and Josh, for sure, mate, you probably noticed this. That I have noticed it. Every gun companies will have their torque specs for their stock screws. I mean, if you can definitely that I have seen that make a difference. My buddy Tony told me that I had a Remington once that didn't shoot worth a shit, and he's like, "How tight your action screws?" I said, "I don't know. I just freaking cranked him." He's like, "Look up and get the torque wrench," and I did. It made it. The thing went from like a 2 MOA gun at 100 to a 1 MOA. I mean, a 1-inch gun. I was under an MOA, but it was that can definitely make a difference. So if you're having trouble with your guns shooting accurate, make sure everything's tight and check those action screws, man. Like I said, I think the fat wrench, the torque wrench, there's other brands too, but I'm just saying that because that's what I have. I mean, it's like $50 or $60, man. I mean, and it'll save you a lot of pain. It'll save you a lot of pain for sure. 11C1P, Vibra tight, Loctite. Don't use the red. I said I use blue. I use a tiny drop, man. And never use red Loctite unless you're like, screw it. If I get to that point, I'm just gonna, get the freaking cutter and cut the gas block off or whatever off, and screw it. Josh Patterson says, I lighten trigger up as light as it'll go. I like them light. Yep. And I got buddies like that for sure. Josh, don't blame me for that at all. 11C1P. I really like the Hyperfire EDT line of triggers. Haven't used those. I read about them, heard good things about them, and now you said it. Now we got another good thing. Gene Cox, do you bore brush front to back to front, or does it matter? Yeah, I definitely back to front, Gene. I don't want all that shit getting back in my action. And I mean, I think that's the main reason they recommend that. Or I mean, your bullet's going out that way. So I mean, to me, that's what I would do, right? And everything's like a pull through. You got your bore snakes and everything. So yeah, I go breech to bore for sure all the time. I mean, 30-30s. If you're going to use I mean, that's like a pull through, man, unless you break that thing all the way down. Mine, I have some kind of pull through when I put it on. And, it's one thing I don't like about lever guns, unless you got one. Maybe the new ones, like the new Rugers and shit, or the Brownings, you can break down real good. But my old Winchester, no dice on that. Eric said, I do a poor man's bore sight. Yeah, I look down the barrel and adjust the scope. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I take the bolt out, even on ARs. I got like a orange target or something, or clay pigeon or whatever, to 100, even if you're at the public range. Find that, set it in your bag or your rest, and look down, put your bore right on that. And when you're adjusting it, when you're, I don't know why this is, but it's the opposite. Like if you're looking down your bore and your scope's low and you want to go up and you turn up, it doesn't go up, it goes down. Everything's backwards until you get it back in and do it normal. I mean, but it works. It'll save you some ammo for sure. It will save you some ammo, no doubt about it. Josh says, I always go action to muzzle with the yeah, for sure, Josh. I mean, pistol. You know what? My pistol, when you break them down, I don't even care. Clean a rifle. Yeah, pistols are a different animal, I guess, but I definitely clean my pistols less than I do my rifles. And I don't clean my rifles a lot. I've said that before. Usually go 600 rounds in my AR. Like every couple hundred, I'll squirt some lube on the bolt to keep. I mean, I've never had them jam, even when it was dry. But I've never. I mean, if I'm gonna go into like a urban freaking battle situation or anything, I'm gonna do it then. But just for the shooting I do, and prairie dogging, even for that, I mean, that's pretty high volume shooting. I've never had a problem. 11C1P, 1022 is just as bad as a lever action to clean. I just mainly use a bore snake. Yeah, it's true. And I mean, I've stuck, ran the rod down the muzzle and then put the brush on at the back and pulled it out. And yeah, I'm just like, you know what? And honestly, I've never 1022s with 1,000 rounds through them. I mean, the things will still usually, any 22 that I've shot really will still shoot you some nice tight little groups. Gene says Marlin levers are easy to take apart. Winchesters suck for yeah, I took my Winchester apart one time and I was like, I never want to freaking do this again. But I think the new Marlins that Ruger makes, because Ruger even made like their his name's escaped me. The pistol looks like the German Luger. They made, my brother-in-law's got one. That thing's so freaking easy to take apart. And them old ones are like a puzzle that Rain Man had to take apart and get back together for you. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, a lot of people talk about the good old days. I like a lot of shit in the good new days. So that's how that goes. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. We're going to go right in. We're at hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to go right into the armed citizen, our hero of the week here. And it's like I said before, too, also Clay and I and Deacons, we're trying to do this on all of our live streams and when we're on Mitchell in the morning. And hopefully when we're on, like I said, next Wednesday, we're going to be on with Mike Bell on Dakota Mornings at 10 o'clock hour. So we're going to try and get some of that in, too. We're talking about, we got a lot of stuff. Mike's, a lot of guys probably don't, they don't like Mike. Mike's a big Second Amendment guy, man. He's, I'm telling you, you talk to the guy, he's up. I mean, it's just like talking to you and me and anybody on here, man. So you can dislike him for whatever else you want, but don't think he's not for your Second Amendment. Anyway, here we go. March 16th, 2024. A 39-year-old man broke into an elderly woman's home in Blackfoot, Idaho, around noon on March 13th and assaulted her. Despite her injuries, the woman, it didn't say what kind of assault. I mean, I'm hoping it wasn't. I mean, any assault's shitty, but I hope he didn't sexually assault her. But if he did, he's going to pay for it here. Despite her injuries, the woman was able to defend herself with a firearm, shooting the piece of shit and killing him. The woman was transported to the hospital, but was expected to fully recover. The sheriff's office noted she was harmed but protected herself. We would like to also thank the amazing community that is so caring and supportive of this brave woman. And that was from Pocatello, Idaho. I know, short and sweet, but guess what? If she didn't have a gun, the guy would probably had his way with her with whatever he's doing or beating the hell out of her and killed her because, dead people don't talk. And a lot of times that's what happens. But the happy ending to this story was she did the whole world a favor and killed this piece of shit who was assaulting her. So nice job. I'm sorry that had to happen to you, ma'am, but thank you for using your Second Amendment rights to defend yourself. All right, I'm going to get to another comment here. At Winchester, Gene Cox says, at Winchester, I think a mechanic was having an affair with an engineer's wife. Yeah, exactly, Gene. 11C1P responding to the armed citizen story, save taxpayers money. Absolutely. Save and you know what? If you're somebody who's going to do that kind of shit, I couldn't care less if you get killed. Not one bit. I mean, I've said that before. You don't want to get shot. Don't break into people's houses. Don't steal their shit you didn't pay for. Don't carjack them. Don't freaking knockout game them or whatever other kind of crap you do. Don't try and kidnap people. Don't mess with people's friends or wives and daughters or family. You know what? And you won't get shot. You won't be prematurely put back to where you came from, to the dirt, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Josh Patterson says, I've been using bore snakes more to just clean it up a bit. Once a year or so, I'll take my rifles down and clean them up good. Josh, I'm on board with you. That's pretty much what I do now. I come back from shooting prairie dogs. They're a little dusty. Hit them with the air hose, like I said, wipe them down. But yeah, once a year, break them all down and give them I don't want to get in too deep about the copper killer stuff, but I used to think that was more important. But anymore now, even the stuff, I don't think a good bore cleaner is good. I don't think you need to take the copper out. I can expand on that at some other point. But yeah, 100%. And actually, I got not even bore snakes. There's other. I can't think of the name right now. If maybe next week or 2 weeks from now when I'm on, I'll do it. But it's a bore snake without the brush, and that thing works. I've noticed when my rifles aren't shooting, I'll pull that sucker through. Man, it'll get right back on shooting tight groups again. I'll have to look it up and let you know. But just basically a bore snake without the brush on it. But yeah, all right, guys. Tell you, I'm gonna do one more commercial here with our two big sponsors, and then I don't know. I clicked out of the son of a gun. Let me right back. I'm stalling here because I clicked out of the wrong thing. Here we go. All right, I'm going to get back into it right here. our two main sponsors. I'm going to do these. Going to come back and we're going to talk just a couple other range things here, and then I'm going to do a little PR for the boys on what's coming up and who I got coming on as a guest here in 2 weeks. So we'll be right back here in a couple minutes, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with me.
That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. You don't scare me.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, JD, back here, 701 Nation. Support our sponsors, and if you do, please tell them you heard it on 701 Nation or Guns in the 701 or any of our videos, man. The first thing on our videos, because, hey, our sponsors love to hear it. Matter of fact, I told you my buddy bought his gun at FFL at Double H Guns. Went down there, told him, hey, heard about you guys on 701 Nation, and hey, got another guy came in. I looked at the other guy. Hey, another guy's in today from. So, hey, they love hearing it, man. Daryl loves it. Brown and Mandan Sporting Goods. Jake, I hope Jake's got a guy coming. A friend of mine said he was looking for a rodeo rifle. They were going to do some inscribing on. Of course, Lauer Auto Repair, man. That's pro Second Amendment. You know. You're doing business with a pro Second Amendment shop right there. I'm not saying there ain't other ones in town, but you know they are on there. So, all right, let's get a few more comments here. And then Josh says, I don't go crazy and get the carbon out, mainly the carbon build. Yeah, the copper. Yeah, right, Josh. So I'll try and make this quick on the copper. When you take the copper out, there's little grooves in your barrel and pits, for lack of a better term, little pits in there. The copper probably fills them in and smooths it out. And I think when you take it out, that's why it takes you like another 10 to, depending on how good your barrel is, 10 to 20 rounds before it straightens out again. I think they fill in. So, that's what it is. Okay. All right. So we could get deeper into that, and maybe at some point we will, but all right. So again, I told you my buddy bought his a Savage Access 223 Access 2. Real nice camo on it. We did a range video with it. I got to do a different ending to it. I was kind of rushed there and we were leaving. I'm going to do it. We're going to have a video up about that. I can tell you that for the price he paid for that rifle, shot super good. We're gonna take it out, gel test. You guys remember we did the gel test on the 55 grain Sierra Game King boat tail soft points. Shot awesome out of my 16-inch barrel rifle. 11.5-inch penetration at 200, pedaled out, lost like 3 grains. We're going to try shooting it. This Savage has a 22-inch barrel. We're going to try it in the gel Sunday out at Axe's place, Lauer Auto. and we're going to try it out of that 22 and a 24, same bullet in a gel. See what happens if it blows up, I hope it doesn't. I hope it stays together because there's definitely going to be more velocity. That sucker was going 2,900 out of my 16-inch, so that's going to be smoking. And if the bullet holds together at that higher velocity, that's a deer killing son of a gun right there. Of course, and we haven't done a pistol test in a long time. Me and Axe were talking about this. I don't know why, but he got himself a new pistol. There's a Smith & Wesson Shield chambered in that 30 Super Carry. So we're going to be doing that. And then, it's time for me to get back out on the river on Sunday. It's going to be in the 90s. So, and all right, we got a comment here. Josh Patterson says, I agree with you on the copper. Yeah, thanks, Josh. I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of waking up to that. So, Waylon says, the guys at Mandan Sporting Goods definitely liked it when I mentioned that. Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you, Waylon. Maybe getting the suppressor help. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt when you're buying the suppressor from them, right? We'll definitely get another one from them. That's awesome. And I'll say it again. If you don't buy a gun from one of our Mandan Sporting Goods or Double H guns, and you buy it online, just use them as an FFL, guys. I mean, because you do that and buy a box of ammo. I mean, that not only helps them out locally, but it helps me out. And I understand you can get stuff, a lot cheaper online sometimes, and that's just the way it is. And I mean, I guarantee you they understand the same thing. So, but at least buy some ammo from them or something else, and then let them know you heard about it on GT701 or 701 Nation. So, finish her off here, guys. We're going a little longer than I thought. I mean, if I'm talking fast, I feel like I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get through this stuff, and I don't like doing that, but I don't like having too long of a podcast or a stream either. But like I said, next Wednesday, Dakota Morning with Mike Bell. It's July 17th, 10 a.m. Clayton and I are both going to be on with Mike. Gene says it's not really cheaper online. We'll talk privately, Gene. Some rifles are, I can tell you that. But thanks, Josh. He said, have a good one, JD. Great show. Thank you. Gene owned a gun shop. But you know what, Gene? Maybe I'll tell you what. That's a good idea, Gene. I'm getting off track here, but I'm doing it real quick. Gene, you owned a gun shop, right, Gene, in Mobridge? We should have you on, actually, and let's talk about that, the difference between, I would love to do that, but difference between buying it online. I know there's shipping, and then now there's online taxes and the FFL fee. So, I mean, if you want to do that, Gene, I would love to have you on it. I think that's a great topic. Anyway, we're going to be on Dakota Mornings next Wednesday, July 17th, Clay and I. And for the hour from 10 to 11, we're going to be on talking Second Amendment stuff with Mike Bell and Todd Mitchell there in the studio. And tomorrow, Mitchell in the morning, Deacons and Clayton are going to be on, 8:15 a.m. Central. Todd's not going to be there, so Jesse, I'm not saying Jesse's anti-gun. Jesse, I don't know if Jesse's really into firearms that much, so he's just going to probably let Clay and Deke freaking roll. Should be good. All right, Gene said he's in. That's awesome, man. I'd love it, Gene. That's going to be fun. And then next Wednesday, hey, Deacons is gone. He's going to be down in Mardi Gras. Next Wednesday, I'm going to be on Guns in the 701, GT701 Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. I'm going to be on with Clay. It's going to be a Second Amendment extravaganza, baby. And then Deke's still not going to be here Friday. So not this Friday, but next Friday, I'm going to be on with Mitchell in the morning and Clay. Todd will be back, and I'll be on with Clayton again. So I'm looking forward to that. And 2 weeks from tonight, I'm going to have on Wayne Muth. I've had a Wayne on before with John Arman. We're going to be talking, some preseason bow stuff. Wayne's an outdoor writer for Dakota Country. Big freaking muley guy. Matter of fact, hey, Wayne, muley freak right here, baby. Got my muley freak. I am a muley freak. I freaking love mule deer. I have nothing against whitetails. If I get a whitetail with my bow this fall, that's fine, but love mule deer. But yeah, Wayne's going to be my guest. That'll be 25th at 8 o'clock Central again. And talking that, like mule deer, some preseason, bow prep and stuff like that. And I got a few other guys, I'm not for sure. Like I said, I want to get Levi on too again. And Gene, I'd love to get Gene on to talk about it. 11C1P, I know I can find strip lowers a lot cheaper online. Yeah, I mean, like I said, certain rifles you can, and other stuff, which I wish wasn't that way, but it is. But if you got to do that, like if you buy a lower online, hey, have it shipped to Double H Guns or Man Down Sporting Goods and get her there, baby. All right, Eric Newman, I'm a muley freak. Yeah, Eric, I know you're a muley freak. I love that, man. Mule deer I mean, if I had a choice and somebody's like, muley buck, whitetail buck the rest of your life, without hesitation, I'd say mule deer. Mule deer buck. I just, like I said, I don't know, for whatever reason, love them mule deer better. And I do got that bow tag, and I know I said it before, but I'll say it again real quick. One thing I do like better about bow hunting, other than being able to gut your deer out in sleeveless, is that the deer meat tastes way better. Deer meat, the 2 deer I've killed with my bow, the meat has been far superior to any deer meat I've eaten during rifle season. So that's the way that is, guys. So all right, hour 20. I'll go on hour 21. I'm gonna end it here. Like I said, support our sponsors, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Beautiful night. I mean, man, I'd love to have been on the river. I was on the river. Got off work early yesterday. I'm going to be out there all weekend. Tomorrow at 3, I'm going to be out with the family and friends, and we're going to do them gun tests Sunday morning, 7:30. Axe and I are going to get it done. And hopefully I can get this other 223 range video up for you guys. Maybe by tomorrow or Saturday morning. I'm gonna try and do it, but I want to do it. It's fun. Love doing those range tests for you guys. It's nothing funner for me to do than that. So, all right, guys, check it out tomorrow. Mitchell in the morning. Be back again next Wednesday with Clayton, and then again next Friday. So, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, guys and gals. Appreciate you. Support our sponsors once again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to end the stream, guys. We'll see you. I'll see you next Wednesday, and then we'll see you again back here, 701 Nation, in 2 weeks with my guest, Wayne Muth. Thanks, guys.